Alright, what's going on, guys? Try back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead video. We'll start things off in this one with an interview with Lenny James where he gave his thoughts or said his biggest regret for leaving The Walking Dead for Fear. And I'll put the link in the description so you guys can go ahead and check it out from comicbook.com so you can read about this one. It's kind of cool. He gives his thoughts on a few things in this one, which is kind of neat. So, yeah, link will be there. You can definitely check it out. So, this is what it says. It says that, quote, "I think that Angela and everybody over there are doing a fantastic job," James told Digital Spy. "I mean, I'm a little behind at the moment just because of the workload, but I will do a binge quite soon and catch right up. I think they're doing a fantastic job." James added he was very keen to see Morton's Whisper leader Alpha and Hurst's second-in-command Beta join the show because, quote, "They're two actors I greatly admire and now regret I didn't hang around longer so I could have done some work with them." So it sounds like, that he regrets that he didn't get a chance to be in the Whisper as part of it. And I mean, that's normal. I think Andrew Lincoln said something similar that, he regrets leaving at that time because the Whispers are really good. And it is true, they're really good. If you guys didn't see, we gave our thoughts on the new Walking Dead trailer for Season 10. It's like a 1-minute teaser trailer type of thing, Silence the Whispers. So very cool. Then it says Morgan exited The Walking Dead after the conclusion of the Survivor Savior War that ended Season 8, leaving Virginia for Texas in Fear Season 4 premiere. Kang, who inherited her duties from Season 5-season showrunner Scott Gimple, is, quote, "doing a fantastic job." James reiterated that Morgan Starr pointed to the writer-producer having to manage the exit of Andrew Lincoln, or Andrew Lincoln's Rick Grimes, and next the exit of Danai, Gurira's Michonne, and says, quote, "I think she'll come in and very much make it her show and the way that she wants to tell the story, and I think it's been great." And they've had to navigate some real biggies in Rick moving on and the time jumps, and it's been deft the way she handled it. It's been fantastic, James said. "I think it's a very strong show at the moment, and possibly also they've got other changes coming up. So I think she's navigating really well, and I'm excited to see where it goes because it's not going anywhere apart from forwards, so that's very exciting." Now, that said, personally, I don't think he regrets leaving, The Walking Dead for Fear overall, because I do remember, as I've said in a few videos now, that, he wanted to get more time, and by him leaving the original Walking Dead series after Season 8 and going into Fear, he was able to get, a lot more time, instead of just maybe being billed on half of the episodes of the season. So out of a 16-episode run for The Walking Dead, let's say he would have maybe got half of them, let's say 8 or 6 or something like this, or maybe 9 or 10. But with Fear, he's pretty much going to be in almost all the episodes. He's going to be, out of 16, he'll probably be in at least, I would say, 13 or something like that, or maybe more. Maybe some seasons he'll be in just about all of them, at least for one scene or something, or at least close to it. And if you'd have to count, if you wanted to, from Season 4, from when he crossed over till now, to see how many episodes he's in. But I think he's in most of Season 4, from what I can remember. And Season 5 so far, he's been in most of the episodes of Season 5, except for maybe a small few. So overall, I don't think he regrets it in terms of work, but, it always would be cool to kind of think of what it would be like if Morgan was still in the original Walking Dead, and if they never did the Fear crossover, and if Madison was still alive, that kind of thing. I don't know, man. I'm really not sure. But Season 4's first half, when you look at it, it does look like it did better than it probably would have if they had not done the crossover. It does look like the crossover did work, at least for a little bit, at least for half a season, to pump that first half. But then, unfortunately, it kind of went right back to where it was before with Fear interest and viewership and everything. It just went right back to where it was afterwards and started to kind of decline anyway. So we'll see how many more years they get out of Fear. And, I'm happy for Lenny James that he was able to get all these episodes, because if you think about it, he might have actually been killed off The Walking Dead in Season 8 if they didn't come up with a crossover idea, and if he didn't agree to kind of do that, unless he was okay afterwards with with only getting, a certain section of the episodes, because at that time in season 8, the first half, and when the first half was starting, I mean, there was so many characters, for him to get that much time. It's like you'd have to have him on Fear. And that's one advantage of Fear is that, some of the Fear characters, Morgan, Alicia, the others, they've gotten a lot more time than they would have in the original Walking Dead series. The amount of screen time, for example, Alicia's had is a lot. And same with Morgan already. In the last 2 years, he's probably had more screen time in Fear than he even had in the original Walking Dead series. You'd have to compare. But I would think if you did, you'd find he's got more minutes of time in Fear already than he probably did in all the years he was on Walking Dead, because he's in like every episode pretty much all the time. He's the Rick of Fear now, so to speak. So we'll go through some different questions for today regarding both The Walking Dead and Fear. We'll just merge them together because this is a video that includes both of them. Epic Zombie Killers, The Walking Dead channel says, hey Trev, will you be getting The Walking Dead Season 9 on DVD or Blu-ray? And when will you be unboxing and reviewing this year's set? Keep up the awesome work. So this year is a strange one. I saw it at Walmart when I was buying groceries. I almost bought it. I had it in my hand. I was like, oh, should I do it? But it's it's over $50, that kind of thing. I've got every season on Blu-ray or DVD, so I have like a complete Walking Dead collection. I have all the comics and that. For some reason, I couldn't do it. I couldn't buy it. I don't know why. Maybe it's a mental block because the comics ended or something like this. It's not like Season 9 wasn't incredible. Season 9 was absolutely incredible, and I wanted to get it and everything, but I just, for some reason, I don't know, man. Maybe it's because, Rick left and he's on the cover and everything, and it kind of makes me sad, to think back, but I don't know. I'm going to see, man. Every year since the first season, when they released the Blu-ray DVD, every year I've done a review for it. This year, I'm not sure. I really don't know for Epic Zombie Killer. I hope so. And if I do get it, I guarantee you at some point here I'll do a review for it whenever that happens to be. It's just, if money's a little bit tighter, that kind of thing, you don't want to necessarily go and grab it right away. It's like, I was comparing. I was like, okay, groceries, $50? It's $50. Not that I'm not able to buy groceries. Believe me, guys. That's not the issue. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you look at it, you're like, hey, do I really feel like it? And, at that time I was like, no, I'm just going to buy, a bunch of groceries and that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to, I'd rather that bill be like, 150 rather than over 200 or something, right? So, that's basically where I went with so far. But we'll see. I'm sure eventually I'll probably get it. And if I do, I'll let you guys know if it's worth it, deleted scenes and whatnot. For Season 9. I don't know. For some reason, I put it back. Anyway, if any of you guys have bought The Walking Dead Season 9 already on Blu-ray or DVD, let me know what you think. Let me know how the deleted scenes are. I'll leave a comment below because I'd like to hear about it. It's kind of like Fear 2. I always intended to buy Fear's other seasons on Blu-ray or DVD. I have the first season, and I never bought any of the other seasons, and I always intended to. Because I do like, especially Season 3 of Fear is amazing. Season 2 is not that bad. It's not as bad as some people try to make it out to be, I think. And then Season 4 with the crossover was at least something special in the first half. The second half was not, because Nick, Madison, and Morgan's crossover, that was a big half season. The second half was not nearly as good, I don't think, for Fear. But, if I ever get any of them, I'll let you guys know. And we can do like a review of the Blu-ray or DVD. Brian Atcham says, why give up on Fear? Alicia is still around. So that's for the video that I did on Monday about fans giving up on Fear. And it seems that one rang very true for a lot of people. That one actually already more interest in that one than even the review for episode 11. It was episode 11 that aired. And I was surprised at that because usually, if you do a review for the episode, like when I do my reviews, more people tune in to watch that than they would just a random video where I kind of, Q&A where we just kind of give our thoughts on it. But I guess it rang so true to people that so many people are really giving up on Fear that, it's a mix of different things, but the biggest one is they don't like the new showrunners. They don't like kind of the writing and the direction it's going. They think it doesn't feel enough like Walking Dead. It's too kind of silly or too kind of like it's not serious enough and it's not scary like it at one time was in Season 3 and some of the prior seasons. And so one character, he mentions Alicia here being still around. Well, you're going to have people watch for that. You're going to have people watch for her because they like her from the first season up until now. So you're going to have that. But is that enough to pull the whole series just to have one? If you just have Morgan or you just have Alicia, is that enough to be for a full pull for the whole series to get people to watch it? And from what I've seen, it looks like, no, it's not enough. So We'll see, man. I don't know. Fear has always been the series that's kind of been destined to be hated, even from when it first started. And over the years, it just got more and more, hate. I still review it every episode, every weekend. But, I can honestly tell you that it hasn't been good for the channel. A lot of people unsubscribe from the Fear videos. I lose hundreds to thousands of subscribers every year because I cover Fear. It's what it is. I just do, I just do what I want to do. And I do appreciate certain things about Fear. I do appreciate certain seasons and certain characters. So for me, it's like, well, the good for it outweighs the bad for me. But I understand if people get in that situation where it's they feel more negative about it than they do positive, and they just don't want to watch it anymore. So, it's sad to me that sometimes that happens, but it is what it is. And there's certainly lots of things on Netflix and other avenues like that nowadays. You don't have to watch if you don't want to. There's always something else on, with streaming and stuff. So yeah, it's what it is. But I still hope for the best with Fear. I still hope that it can continue on and that it can have its own fan base, and that it at some point maybe turns the corner here and not as many people are kind of feeling so negative about it. But I can't say it's unwarranted either, that for the way people feel. Like a lot of people would say, well, if you don't like it, don't watch it. And because some people are being negative about it. And I understand that perspective too. But the thing about it is, it's not like it's unwarranted. Fear, for a lot of the things that have been in the series and a lot of the stuff, it's like, I get it. I see a lot of comments, and it's not like it's unfounded for people to say that, that this is how they feel about it and to be disappointed by it. Because that's like most of the fans are at least a little bit disappointed with Fear now. If they weren't in season 2 or 3, they certainly are now because of the way the crossover kind of has. I don't know. It just didn't do. At the first half, it did. It was really exciting. The first half of season 4, but then after that, it just, I don't know, man. Once it was like completed, and here's what we have now. It's kind of like a lot of people are just like, no, not good enough, man. Not good enough for Walking Dead standards. So it's what it is. We'll do a couple more. Travis Smith says, Better Call Saul has good ratings and is always an awards talk. I think that's better for AMC than Fear. So he's making the case that Better Call Saul is AMC's second best series to The Walking Dead. And, certainly, you make a good case, Travis. The thing is, Travis, right, for Fear. That's cool. You can make a case that for sure it is. But here's the deal, is that AMC doesn't own it. They buy it, I think, from Sony or one of those, don't quote me on it, one of those types of producers. And if you look at the Breaking Bad movie that I'm very excited for, as I know a lot of you guys are too, that's going to hit in October. And that's going to Netflix. And I don't know if they're even going to show it on AMC. I'm not sure. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know. But Netflix got it too. So what does that tell you right there? That tells you that AMC owns Fear, whereas they do not own Better Call Saul. They do not own the Breaking Bad universe. So they made a smart move to get their claws around the Walking Dead license and lock that thing up, so everything Walking Dead was theirs. Because that didn't happen with Breaking Bad and now Better Call Saul and the movie and this kind of stuff. So they let that universe kind of go, and they kind of bought it instead of totally taking it over like they did with Walking Dead. And so as a result, it's like, well, how can you say it is? Because this year there is no Better Call Saul. Next year it's going to return, which is great, awesome. And you're probably right. It probably will do better ratings than maybe Fear does right now. But it's not theirs. They don't own it, and they don't get all the profit for it like they probably would with any self-developed series where they get to bill twice. They get to air it and bill from that side of things from the episode, and they can actually sell it to themselves too, which is kind of interesting. And legally, there's that big battle going on right now because they sell it to themselves, so they get this imputed fee, which legally it gets very complicated, and there's legal battle going on for Frank Darabont. And then I just saw online Robert Kirkman's legal battle is going to be starting. It might be a lot smaller, it might be a lot faster than Frank Darabont's is. But apparently what sounds like is they thought they were going to get, kind of a share of the overall Walking Dead deal. Instead, they got a part of it out of the TV show being sold kind of to themselves type of deal. So anyway, that could turn into we could go a lot further with that and a lot more in depth with that. But I'll just say, basically, if you can do everything in-house and you own it all yourself and you don't have to buy episodes and buy seasons from another developer and pay them to be able to air it, and then you get the money from that. If you do everything yourself, then you get to keep everything. And so it's all in-house. So Fear is probably still better for AMC because they own it 100% than Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad, even though those series are amazing. they don't have 100% ownership of those. Not even close. They have to buy them and everything. Fantasial says, honestly though, Fear has an amazing cast. With the exception of the Trucker Girl, everyone is great and portrayed by a talented cast. Trucker Girl isn't that bad, to be honest. But these writers keep aimlessly wandering through plots with no cohesive story. Even the new character Wes seems good so far, and he's had all of 30 minutes of screen time. So Fear does have a pretty strong cast right now, at least in the numbers. They have Morgan, they have Alicia, they have Dwight, they have Strand, they have, you know, all the others too. Althea, who's been developed a lot, and, everybody that they have right now. So John and June and everybody. So they do have a lot of standout characters, I think. And, even the Walking Dead original series, they've got a decent amount too, but you could almost argue that Fear maybe has more right now of well-developed, hero-type characters. So, I don't think many people complain too much about the characters. If they do, it's like they complain about Morgan, maybe a little bit. They say he's boring because he's all peace and all that stuff. But most of it is not the complaints about the characters themselves. It's mostly complaints about the direction of the series and kind of not the identity just being a bit different from what they probably want is my interpretation of it. But certainly leave your comments below, guys. Let's continue the conversation. Let me know what you think about Lenny James kind of regretting that he didn't get to work with some of the lead Whisperers, Beta and Alpha, Samantha Morton and Ryan Hurst. That would have been cool to see, but I'm happy for him that he got to be in Fear and that he got a lot more time in Fear that he would not have been able to get in the original Walking Dead series. If you like the video, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and at the bottom left, you can subscribe. That's it for this one today. I'll see you guys again soon for another video. It's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.